Regret is the only ghost that truly haunts a house. The words linger in the air, almost as if they belong to the walls themselves, absorbing the silence around them. The family stands at the edge of the rainforest, a lush canopy above them, casting a dappled shadow over the narrow path that leads them deeper into the heart of Hawaii's wilderness. The father, dressed in a worn-out shirt and shorts, carries the stroller with his head slightly lowered, his body bent under the weight. He doesn't complain, doesn't say a word, but the strain is visible in the slow, deliberate steps he takes, as if each step is a quiet negotiation between his body and the weight of his role as protector. The sound of his breathing matches the rhythmic rustle of the leaves above, an unspoken harmony of exhaustion and duty. As they move forward, the path becomes steeper, more challenging, and his grip tightens on the stroller, muscles tense under the weight of not just the physical burden, but the mental one too. In this moment, the child's innocent laughter ahead of him feels like a distant echo, a reminder of what is truly at stake here. His own well-being, his own fatigue, hidden beneath the surface of this perfect vacation. He recalls the days when he was younger, more carefree, when these trails felt like adventures to be embraced, not burdens to be carried. He remembers the promises he made to himself, to always provide, to always be there, but he never realized how heavy those promises would become. The sound of a distant bird call snaps him back to the present, and he takes another step, feeling the weight of his past decisions pressing on him like the humid air of the rainforest. His heart feels heavier now, not from the stroller he carries, but from the silent sacrifices he's made over the years. The mother walks alongside him, her hands slightly trembling as she tries to keep up with the pace, her eyes occasionally meeting his with a silent understanding. She doesn't speak, but her eyes, full of concern, reflect the same tiredness that he feels. They both continue, side by side, each carrying a weight that the children can't yet understand. As they reach a clearing, the father pauses for a moment, looking at the waterfall ahead of them. The cascade of water glistens in the sunlight, but it doesn't bring the joy he expected. Instead, it brings a quiet sorrow, a reminder that the beauty of life is often accompanied by a price that is never fully acknowledged. The child laughs again, pointing at something ahead, and the father forces a smile. But inside, he is overcome with a fleeting thought, a thought that feels almost like a confession, a regret that he'll never speak aloud. What if I had taken more time for myself? What if I had said no to some of these burdens? But the thought fades as quickly as it came, replaced by the familiar mask of fatherly responsibility. He looks at his child's smiling face, and for a moment, the weight of his sacrifices lightens. The path may be difficult, but it's his to walk. This journey, with all its challenges, is part of the life he's built for his family. He takes a deep breath, adjusting his grip on the stroller. There is no turning back now. The sacrifice is part of the journey, just as the joy of seeing his child happy is the reward. He exhales slowly, feeling the weight on his shoulders, but also the quiet peace of knowing that he has done what he set out to do. He has given them everything. And in this moment, that is enough. As they make their way deeper into the rainforest, the father steps slow, not just from the strain of carrying the stroller, but from something heavier inside. The dense foliage overhead creates a cool shelter from the sun, but it's the shadow in his mind that feels more suffocating. He glances at his wife, her face a mirror of his own tiredness, but neither of them speaks. The child, oblivious to the struggle, giggles ahead, pointing at a bird flitting across the trees. For a moment, everything is quiet, save for the soft rustling of the leaves and the distant sound of water. The path ahead is steep, winding upward, and the father takes another step, his breath shallow and controlled. He remembers the early days of their relationship, how everything seemed possible, how their energy seemed limitless. He recalls their first trips together, the spontaneity, the joy. He never imagined that someday he would be so weighed down, not just by the physical demands of fatherhood, but by the pressure of expectation. I should be stronger, he thinks, as his muscles protest, but the thought is fleeting, drowned out by the steady rhythm of his movement. He turns his gaze back to the path, noticing the uneven ground, the obstacles ahead, and for a brief moment, he wonders how much longer he can keep going like this. A sudden flash of memory hits him, a younger version of himself, carefree, walking through a different path before the weight of responsibility took root. He can almost feel the lightness in his step, the freedom of a time when he didn't have to carry anyone but himself. The memory fades quickly, replaced by the present. The stroller is heavier now, and he shifts his grip. He thinks of the promises he made, promises to his children that they would always have the best experiences, the best moments, the best memories. But in keeping those promises, he wonders if he's lost something along the way. A small pang of guilt twists in his chest, but he forces it down, pushing forward, each step an act of determination. He glances at his wife again. She's holding the other child's hand, her expression soft but distant, as though her own thoughts are far away. They both continue, side by side, in this quiet dance of exhaustion and duty. It's a rhythm they've come to know well, and yet, in the silence, it feels like something is missing, something that neither of them can name. The sound of water grows louder as they near the waterfall, the air thick with mist. The sight of the water cascading over the rocks ahead should bring him peace, but instead, it stirs something else. He takes a deep breath, inhaling the cool, damp air. The weight on his shoulders feels more pronounced now, the realization settling in. He has given everything for this family. Every step, every sacrifice, every moment of silence. And still, there's a part of him that feels empty. The weight of his love, his duty, his sacrifice, it's all there, but it's not enough to fill the space that remains. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't need to. The path ahead is still steep, but it's not the physical climb that is the hardest. It's the emotional climb, the climb to understanding that sometimes, giving everything still doesn't guarantee that you'll feel whole. The realization is quiet, almost imperceptible, but it's there. A truth that he'll carry with him, like the weight of the stroller in his hands, as they continue their journey through the rainforest. The sound of rushing water fills the air as the family approaches the waterfall, the mist from the cascade cooling their skin. The father's shoulders feel heavier now, as though the weight of the day has accumulated in his bones, pressing down with an unspoken burden. He watches the children, their faces bright with wonder as they stare at the waterfall. But even in this moment of beauty, he can't shake the feeling that something is slipping away, something he can never fully reach or reclaim. His mind drifts, not to the waterfall, but to the years that have passed, how quickly they've slipped through his fingers. He had once promised himself that he would be there for every moment, that he would give his children everything they needed, but now, as he watches them so full of life, he feels a deep, gnawing emptiness. There's no question of love, of course. He loves them fiercely, without reservation. But in this quiet moment, standing at the base of a great waterfall, he realizes that love isn't always enough. Love doesn't stop time. Love doesn't erase the years spent chasing after the next goal, the next thing, the next promise that had to be kept. He's given everything for them, but in doing so, he's lost pieces of himself along the way. A flash of memory comes unbidden. The early days, when life felt simpler, when he didn't feel the constant pull of obligation. He can almost feel it now, the lightness of those days, the sense of possibility, before the weight of expectations settled on his shoulders like an uninvited guest. But that was then, and this is now. The children are older now, their laughter full of joy, but also tinged with the realization that they too are moving ahead, leaving their own marks on time. The father's hand tightens around the stroller handle as he watches them, a mixture of pride and sorrow flooding him. He can't help but wonder if he has given them too much, if in trying to give them everything, he's robbed them of the simple joys of just being. The mother walks beside him, her steps measured and sure, but her gaze is distant, caught somewhere in her own thoughts. She's always been the rock, the one who keeps everything together, but today, even she seems to be carrying the weight of something deeper, something that neither of them can fully acknowledge. As the family continues their walk, the path becomes more uneven, the terrain more challenging. The father feels the exhaustion creeping into his muscles, each step heavier than the last. But he doesn't stop. He can't. There's no time for rest, no time for reflection. Not now, not yet. The children are ahead, their energy unspent, their excitement palpable. And he's here, carrying the weight of their future, of all the promises he made to them. He catches his breath, his chest tight from more than just the physical exertion. It's the weight of a life lived in service to others, a life spent ensuring that they have what they need, even if it means losing himself in the process. The path ahead feels long, too long, but there's no turning back. He knows that now. The sacrifices are a part of him, woven into every step he takes. And yet, as they continue, there's a flicker of something else, something that he hasn't allowed himself to feel in a long time. Hope. It's small, almost imperceptible, but it's there, a reminder that despite the exhaustion, despite the weight of all he's given, there is still something worth fighting for. The family continues on, and with each step, the father wonders if the true reward of sacrifice isn't in the destination, but in the journey itself, the moments shared along the way. The path becomes steeper as they near the top of the trail, and the father's legs start to feel the weight of the day, the weight of the years. His steps are slower now, each movement more deliberate than before. He feels the tightness in his chest, not from the physical exertion, but from something deeper, something he can't name. The silence around him is heavy, almost suffocating. His thoughts turn inward, and for the first time that day, he allows himself to feel everything he's been suppressing. The exhaustion, the guilt, the regret, it all crashes down on him in one sudden wave. He glances at his wife, who walks beside him, her hand gently gripping their youngest child's, her face unreadable. She's always been the strong one, the one who keeps the family together, but in this moment he sees the weariness in her eyes. She, too, is carrying more than she lets on. He wonders if she's been holding onto the same weight, the same silent burden that he has, the same exhaustion that comes with being the glue that holds everything together. But she doesn't say anything. Neither of them do. They just keep walking, side by side, as if nothing has changed, even though everything has. The children are ahead, their laughter cutting through the stillness, a reminder of the joy they are supposed to feel, the joy they should be experiencing. But the father can't shake the feeling that they are moving too fast. That time is slipping through his fingers like sand, and no matter how hard he tries to hold on, it's always just out of reach. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sound of their footsteps is the only thing that breaks the silence. They reach a small clearing, and the father stops for a moment, letting out a slow breath. The weight of the stroller feels unbearable now, his arms trembling from the strain, but he doesn't stop. He can't. He has to keep going. The children are ahead, excited by the view, unaware of the weight their father carries. They don't know the sacrifices he's made, the things he's given up to give them everything they need. They don't know the nights he lies awake, wondering if he's done enough, if he's been enough. He watches them, their innocence a sharp contrast to the storm brewing inside him. For a moment, he envies them, their ability to simply be, to live in the moment without the weight of responsibility. He wants to be like them, to feel the joy of the journey instead of the weight of it. But instead, he feels trapped. Trapped by the promises he's made, by the expectations that he's placed on himself. He looks up at the sky, the canopy of trees above him now opening up to reveal the bright blue sky, and for the briefest moment, he feels something shift inside. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but it's there. A small flicker of realization. The realization that perhaps he's been so focused on the destination, on getting to the end, that he's forgotten to appreciate the journey itself. The moment of quiet beauty that surrounds him, the laughter of his children, the warmth of his wife beside him. In that instant, he understands something that he's missed for so long. The sacrifices he's made, the weight he's carried, they are not burdens, they are acts of love. The love he's given, the love that has sustained his family, is not something to be regretted. It is something to be cherished. And as they continue on their way, with the sound of the waterfall growing louder in the distance, he feels the weight on his shoulders lighten, just a little. Not because the burden is gone, but because he has finally come to terms with it. He has done what he set out to do, and in that, there is peace. As the trail begins to level out, the father takes a moment to stop, feeling the weight of the stroller finally become too much. His legs tremble beneath him, and for the first time, he lets go of the stroller handle, his arms sore and tight. He stares ahead, his gaze unfocused, lost in thought as the children continue to explore ahead, their voices full of excitement, unaware of the quiet storm inside him. The sounds of their laughter feel distant now, almost as if they are coming from another world. The weight on his shoulders feels heavier than it ever has before, but it's not just the stroller. It's everything that has built up over the years. The promises, the sacrifices, the expectations. All of it has led him here, to this moment of exhaustion, and yet, as he stands there, breathing deeply, something shifts. For a brief moment, he lets himself feel it, the frustration, the guilt, the burden of having always tried to be everything for everyone. And then, almost like a quiet whisper in his mind, a new realization begins to form. He hasn't been carrying all of this alone. His wife, though silent in her struggles, has been with him every step of the way. She's walked this path beside him, supporting him in ways he may not have fully seen before. The thought doesn't make the weight lighter, but it does make it more bearable. He looks at her now, still a few steps ahead, her eyes scanning the horizon as if searching for something. He wonders how long she's been carrying her own silent burdens, how many moments of exhaustion she's hidden behind her. Smile. She doesn't say anything, doesn't ask for help, but there's a quiet understanding between them that transcends words. It's the kind of understanding that comes from years of shared responsibility, of unspoken love. The path ahead seems less daunting now. It's not that the physical challenge has changed, but there's a shift inside him. The realization that this journey, this life, isn't just about getting to the end. It's about walking together through the struggles and the triumphs. He watches his children, running ahead, carefree, their joy a reminder of what they've been working toward all along. He knows that their happiness is his success, that every step he's taken, every sacrifice, has led to this moment. And yet, even as he watches them, a new understanding of what it means to be a parent settles into his chest. It's not about being perfect, not about making sure everything is in place, but about being present, being there for the moments that matter. The weight of the past few days, the tiredness in his body, begins to fade, replaced by a quiet sense of peace. He's done enough. He's given what he could, and that, in itself, is enough. The path stretches out before him, not as a burden to bear, but as a journey to continue. As they walk together, side by side, he feels something stir within him, a sense of gratitude, not just for the journey itself, but for the people he shared it with. He looks at his wife, and for the first time in a long while, he sees her clearly, his partner, his equal, the one who has carried as much as he has, and who has never asked for recognition. They don't need to speak. The understanding is there, in the way their hands brush briefly as they walk. The weight of the day isn't gone, but it doesn't matter anymore. They are here, together, and that's all that matters. The family reaches the base of the waterfall, the air cool and thick with mist, and the father feels the weight in his chest ease, but not completely fade. He watches his children, their faces bright and alive with excitement, completely unaware of the inner struggle he has carried all this time. The youngest is running ahead, laughter echoing through the air, while the older one carefully climbs the rocks by the edge of the stream, a gleam of adventure in their eyes. His wife stands beside him, looking at their children with that familiar, tired smile. It's the kind of smile that says everything and nothing at the same time. He can see the same exhaustion in her that he feels, the quiet sacrifice in her posture, in the way she stands there, not moving, as if giving herself a moment to breathe. But she doesn't ask for anything. Neither of them do. And yet, in the silence between them, there's something unspoken, a mutual understanding that they are both carrying the same weight, though they never say a word about it. The father takes a deep breath, the coolness of the mist brushing against his skin, and for a brief moment, he lets himself simply be. The past few days have felt like a blur of motion, walking, carrying, climbing, giving, and giving more, all without stopping to ask if he has enough left for himself. But now, standing at the edge of the water, watching his children play, he realizes that the journey isn't just about the destination. It's about these moments, these quiet moments, unremarkable to anyone else, but filled with a kind of peace that he hasn't felt in a long time. He looks at his wife again, and for the first time, he feels something shift. It's not just the physical exhaustion that's finally catching up with him, but something deeper, something that has been building inside him for years. It's the realization that he doesn't have to do it all alone, that she has always been there, walking beside him, just as he has been walking beside her. That they are partners in this, not just in the sense of raising their children, but in everything. The sacrifices, the struggles, the love that they have shared without ever needing to speak it aloud. He smiles, a small, quiet smile that holds so much more than just a simple expression of affection. It's a smile that says, "I see you." And in that moment, it's as if a weight has been lifted from his chest, not because the burdens are gone, but because he has finally allowed himself to share them, to acknowledge that they are both in this together. The children are still playing, their laughter now mingling with the sound of the waterfall, and he realizes that this is what it's all about. Not the perfect moments, not the achievements, but these quiet, imperfect moments of togetherness. He turns to his wife, and for the first time in a long time, he reaches for her hand. They don't need to speak. They both know that the journey isn't over, that there will be more challenges ahead. But in this moment, standing together at the base of the waterfall, surrounded by the laughter of their children, he feels something he hasn't allowed himself to feel in years: peace. And for the first time in a long while, he knows that this is enough. As they make their way back down the trail, the father's steps feel lighter than they have in days. The weight of the journey now more evenly shared, though still present. His wife walks beside him, her hand occasionally brushing his, an unspoken acknowledgement of the quiet connection they've rediscovered. The children are ahead, their voices drifting back toward them like the wind, full of laughter and energy, oblivious to the weight that had been pressing on their parents just hours ago. For the first time in a long while, the father feels a sense of clarity, as if the fog of exhaustion has lifted, replaced by something deeper: understanding, acceptance, peace. He looks around, taking in the beauty of the landscape once more, the dense green of the trees, the way the sunlight filters through the leaves, casting patterns on the forest floor. He notices these things now in a way he hadn't before, as if he's seeing the world through new eyes that are no longer clouded by the constant drive to do more, to be more. The path they're walking now is familiar, but it feels different. Each step is no longer a burden. It's a part of something bigger, something that connects them all. He looks at his wife again, her face soft with the quiet strength he has always admired, and for the first time, he feels the weight of all they have shared. Not just the struggles, but the moments of joy, the moments of stillness, the way they have always found a way to move forward together. They have both carried so much over the years, and yet here they are, walking side by side, still moving, still together. It's in these small moments, these fleeting glances, that he sees the true depth of their bond. They don't need to speak. It's in the way they move and sync, in the way their hands brush together every so often. It's in the way the children call back to them, their excitement echoing through the trees, reminding them of what they've built, of what they've created together. The father takes a deep breath, the cool air filling his lungs, and for the first time, he feels the weight of the world ease, not because the burdens are gone, but because he has finally accepted them. The sacrifices, the exhaustion, the moments of doubt, they are all part of the journey. And now, as they walk back toward the car, toward the end of this day, he realizes that the real reward wasn't in the destination, but in the shared experience, in the way they have all carried each other along the way. The journey has been long, and there will be more challenges ahead, but for now, in this moment, there is nothing to do but walk forward, together, as a family, the weight of the past finally finding its place, no longer a burden, but a testament to all they've overcome. As the family reaches the parking lot, the father feels the weight in his chest lift just a little more. He looks around at the familiar sights of the car, the trail behind them, and the world that feels a little more grounded now. The children are still talking excitedly about the waterfall and their adventures, their voices full of life. But for the first time today, he hears them with a sense of peace, not as background noise to his own struggles, but as a reminder of the reason behind everything. He realizes, standing there, that this is the moment where the past few days, the exhaustion, the sacrifices, all come into focus. It's not in the big, dramatic moments of life, not in the grand gestures or the perfect vacations, but in these small, quiet moments, where everything that matters is right in front of him. He looks at his wife, still standing beside him, still the quiet strength of the family, and for the first time, he truly sees her. Not as the person who has always been there, not as the partner in this life they've built, but as an individual, a person who has carried just as much as he has, and yet has never asked for anything in return. There's no need for words. He can see it in her eyes, in the way she stands beside him now, the small, subtle gestures that show her strength, her sacrifice. And in that silence, in that shared space, he finally understands that they are both in this together, and that this journey, this life, isn't just about him carrying the weight of the world. It's about them, both of them, moving forward together, sharing everything along the way. The children climb into the car, their energy still high, their laughter filling the space, and the father takes a deep breath, the cool air of the parking lot grounding him, bringing him back to the present. As he slides into the driver's seat, he feels a shift inside him, a realization that he has done enough. Not perfectly, not without mistakes, but enough. He has given what he could, he has carried what he could, and in the end, that is all he can do. The road ahead will have its challenges, just as it always has, but as he starts the car and drives away from the trail, he feels a sense of peace, not because everything is perfect, but because he has learned, finally, to accept the imperfections, to carry the weight without letting it break him. The family drives on, the road stretching out before them, the sound of the children's chatter and laughter a steady reminder of what matters most. The weight of the past still lingers, but it no longer feels heavy, no longer feels like something to carry alone. It's something they all carry, together, and in that shared burden, there is freedom. The father grips the steering wheel, feeling the hum of the road beneath him, and for the first time in a long time, he feels ready to face whatever comes next, not with fear or doubt, but with the quiet strength of knowing that he is not alone. The sun begins to set as the family continues down the road, the soft glow of the evening light spilling over the landscape, painting everything in warm hues. The father's grip on the steering wheel tightens, but not from tension. It's a quiet steadiness, a kind of grounding that he hasn't felt in a long time. The hum of the car, the rhythmic sound of the tires on the road, fills the space around them, but inside the car, there is an unspoken calm. The children's voices have softened, their energy slowly winding down as the day begins to fade. His wife sits beside him, her presence a steady comfort, and in the silence between them, the weight of everything that has passed feels lighter. The long drive ahead no longer feels like a chore, but a continuation of something they've already shared. He glances at her again, a soft look that says more than words ever could. She turns toward him, meeting his gaze, and for a moment, it's as if the whole world slows down. They've been through so much together, and in this moment, there's a shared understanding between them, silent but profound. He realizes that the quiet that fills the car now isn't just the absence of noise. It's the presence of something deeper. It's the peace that comes with knowing they are no longer carrying everything alone. They are in this together, through every challenge, every joy, and every moment in between. The weight of the journey, the sacrifices, the hardships, are all part of the story, but it's the moments like this, the simple ones, where everything comes into focus. The laughter of their children, the soft sounds of their breath as they settle in for the ride, the warmth that lingers between the parents, all of it makes the journey worth it. And as the road stretches out before them, winding through the landscape, the father feels something settle inside him, something he hasn't allowed himself to feel in a long time, gratitude. Not just for the moments of peace, but for the moments of struggle, too. For everything that has led them here. He shifts his focus back to the road ahead, feeling the steady rhythm of the drive, and for the first time in a long time, he's not focused on getting somewhere. He's focused on being here, in this moment, with the people he loves. The road ahead is still long, and there will be more struggles, but he knows now, in a way he didn't before, that they'll face them together. And that thought, more than anything else, fills him with a quiet strength. The car continues down the winding road, the evening light fading into night, but the peace inside the car remains. It's not a perfect peace, not a resolution to everything, but a peace born from acceptance, from knowing that the journey itself, with all its ups and downs, is enough. They are enough. And in this simple truth, there is a quiet joy, a joy that doesn't need to be spoken, only felt. The father takes a final look at the rearview mirror, watching his children, peaceful now. And as they drive forward, he feels the weight of the day, of the years, finally settling into a place where it no longer feels like a burden, but a part of the journey they've made together.